The Brewing Dolphin Commodores Cup is an international team event. 3 boat teams, we've got 7 teams here, 21 boats, and basically the best team wins. We've got France, we've got Belgium and Holland, and we also have Hong Kong, as well as 4 teams from the UK. So it's a great mix of people. It's an international amateur event, so the level of professional sailors on the boat is controlled, and it's probably one of the best events in the Northern Hemisphere, if not in the world actually, for amateur sailors.
I think the draw of the Commodores Cup is it's a friendly regatta between nations in a fantastic venue here on the Solent and sort of coastal waters of the English Channel. Complicated, difficult place to race, and makes for great competition.
So I've been sailing as part of the British Keelboat Academy, and this year David Asia loaned the boat to the academy, which meant that sort of 8 of us got to come along and crew for him. So over the year we've been working really hard to get the boat ready and get ourselves up to the right standard, basically, and that's how that's happened.
Well, the Brewing Dolphin Commodores Cup is an event that takes a lot of organisation, on the water, off the water, the parties. We can't do it without sponsors.
Our view is that sailing appeals to our typical client base, so it works from that point of view. It's a very good way of raising general brand awareness in our potential audience, but we are very keen to support a sport like sailing. It's a very inclusive sport. Everybody has the illusion that it's the reverse. It's not. These boats require a lot of people, a lot of strong, young, talented people, and we're very keen on encouraging that. Having the regatta here in the Solent, which presents another dimension of challenge. The Solent is a very exciting place to sail. It's a very difficult place to sail, so it really is a leading edge competition.
These are boats that are also cruised as well as raced. We call them cruiser races, and they're very popular in the Solent and in fact in the whole of Northern Europe, and so it makes sense that we bring these boats together, and it is an offshore regatta, so there are offshore sailing as well as the inshore sailing that we had today.
The challenge for laying the courses for the Commodores Cup is that we have quite a light wind today and one of the biggest tides of the summer, so there'll be a lot of tidal flow across the course. We want to keep it as fair as possible because the races range in handicap from quite fast down to the smaller 35-foot boats, and that gives quite a challenge in the finish time and trying to keep the course fair right across it from the first boats to finish to the last. So today each race we'd aim at about an hour and a half. Because the winds are slightly less stable, the first race will probably be slightly shorter, and then the second one they'll try and get a slightly longer race in.
The racing was pretty difficult today, particularly I think for the curve 40s in the first race, where we had long runs against the tide. But in the second race we seemed to have the legs. I haven't seen the results yet, but seem to have the legs and be able to get away. If it's a windy race, then we want to be doing lots of downwind against the tide, but in the lighter stuff it's pretty hard. I miss very early days. We've done 2 races. There's an 8-race series. We've there'll be somebody out in front today, but after tomorrow or the day after this offshore, it could all be very different.
It was good. We had 2 races starting at 10:30. So the first race, she managed to come 4th, which we're very pleased with. Second race, not quite sure where we came yet, but we think we're sort of still quite up there.
Well, you know, we've got 21 boats here, over 200 competitors. You know, it's about camaraderie, friendship, making friends, meeting new friends, meeting old friends. Yachting is a very social sport, you know. They'll fight tooth and nail on the water, but afterwards they enjoy a beer, they talk about their race, they talk about what happened on their boat, and you know, that's part of the business. We like to socialise.
Thank you, Ta.